Okay, so we are in a series called the Big Ten. Last week we did a overview. I can do a little bit of a review on that, but you got to go back and watch the YouTube video. Children of Israel were in slavery for 400 years. They were released from slavery through a whole bunch of events. And then they walk for about 2 months. They end up at Mount Sinai, which this is a picture of. And you have it up there? Go back. Okay, itchy trigger finger. Thank you, Madeline. So this is a picture of the actual Mount Sinai. And so when they get there, they ask Moses, Moses, by the way, what's the plan here? Because we celebrate this and we go, yay, they've been freed from slavery. They don't have to make bricks 24/7 anymore. Right? And we go, yes, that's awesome. And then we go, but what did they do next? And also, Moses has about 1 million people that he has to organize. So he was going, God, a little help would be helpful. And all of them were going, we don't know what the plan is. Where is this promised land that you talked about? So anyways, they end up here. And then Moses is like, yeah, well, I'll go up on the mountain and figure it out. And then let's go to this next slide. So he came down, went up on the mountain, and then came back down with something called the 10 Commandments. Put up your hand if you've ever heard of the 10 Commandments. Okay. So this is crazy because like the 10 Commandments are like the big deal in Judaism and obviously Christianity as well. Everything that we believe came out of these rules, these laws. And so we talked about that a little bit too. Something that came out of it was this thing called ethical monotheism. Not fun? Did you come to church to hear about ethical monotheism? It just means that ethical, the way that we run our cultures, is based on this idea of one God. That this one God designed everything, and as he designed everything, he gave us the rules for life. 3,400 years ago that happened, and that had never happened before, and has not happened since. And the entire Western world was based on these laws and that principle of there is one God and one creator, and he's going to give us the rules for our lives so that we can organize cultures and all of those things. And then so he gave us the 10 Commandments. So it's huge. It has been the foundation of our society. It's insane. Like we kind of go, oh, the 10 Commandments, all those old dusty rules. You know, it is the foundation of our culture. Okay, we talked about that last week, so go back and watch that. Hopefully I did a good enough job explaining that. So, today we're going to dive in. We're going to do commandment number 1. Everybody say commandment 1. And we're going to go through sequentially all through the commandments. To begin this, I have a bit of an illustration. And I need some volunteers. I need a team of 2 people to come over here. That got your attention. I need a team of 2 people, hopefully not married. Hopefully not married, because everybody knows that he is responsible for more divorces than any other company in the world, right? So, I mean, you could be married, that'd be fine. You're going to create this, and then I need 2 people to come over here. You're going to do this while I'm preaching, and this is going to be a project you're going to do while I'm preaching, and we're going to see which team is better at this. No pressure. All right? I love it. You guys are just like, what is he doing today? You know, is this the Dayquil talking? I haven't even had any Dayquil. So, no. So we're going to have 2. Now, I'm going to just be full disclosure that as you do this, the team, actually, do I have volunteers? I need a team of 2. Oh, I knew Georgia would do it, but you need to partner with somebody. Can you partner with somebody?
I'll partner with her.
Sarah? Okay. And then I need another team. You don't have to be from this side to be on this side. We can cross-pollinate. Any volunteers? Like you get to kind of tune me out, so that's helpful. Okay, you got 2? Okay, why don't you guys come up here? Actually, Sarah and Georgia, you're over here. Okay, now, come on up. What's your names? I don't even know you guys. Jada? You're from Victoria. Oh, welcome from Victoria. Here you go. Ava and Jada? Wow, that's awesome. Thanks for coming. Yeah, thanks for doing that. So here's the deal. Unfortunately, you guys are at a bit of a slight disadvantage. I'm not going to explain all of that, but I just want you to do the best you can do. You've built shelves. She's built shelves before. I'm just kind of letting you know. I've kind of stacked the odds to Jada and Ava. All right. So you guys are gonna. Well, you have everything you need. Anyways, you guys can go ahead. At the end, we'll bring this all in for a landing. If you are struggling, or if you are struggling, I may tap somebody who's got some construction, right? Because I know sometimes that could take an hour to build. So we only have I only have about 15 minutes. I'm going to take 40, but I'm only 15 minutes. Okay, go. You guys can go. All right, here we go. I feel like I'm on Survivor or something. We're not. Okay, so they're going to start and they're going to build this, and hopefully they do a good job. Pastor Kim, you're there. You can, oversee it.
We're using the nursery.
Yeah, Pastor Kim asked for these shelves about a year ago, and we kept on putting it off, and then I said, I need something to build on something. She's like, what about the shelves that we wanted to buy? I'm like, okay. So, anyways, I drove to IKEA yesterday. Okay. You're welcome. Okay, so it's for the kids. All right, and you can put the box on the floor and build on the table. You can do whatever you want. All right, here we go. Everybody say commandment number 1. Because I need you guys to be looking at me, and this is going to be a bit of a distraction, but I get that, and that's fine. And it's all going to kind of come together at the end, and hopefully you remember these shelves, because these shelves are going to help us remember the importance of commandment number 1. All right? Do you guys know what commandment number 1 is? Say again? You shall have no other gods but me. So it says, okay. So that's commandment number 1. Okay. So Russell Brand is a bit of a controversial figure. He is a comedian, actor, all of these kinds of things. And he recently became a Christian. When he became a Christian, he said a number of things. One of the things that I want to begin our time with today is a quote that he gave. So can you put that up on here? So there's Russell. You guys remember him? Anybody? Russell Brand? Okay, a little bit. He's a wacko guy. He used to be on MTV and all that stuff. Very flamboyant. So he's referring to the first commandment. And he says, when it says in the Old Testament, worship no other gods than me, the implication I offer is that we are a species that worships. We are a species that worships. And if you do not access the divine, you will worship the mundial, you will worship the profane, you will worship your own identity, you will worship your belongings, and you will worship the template laid out before you by a culture that wants you distracted and lost. You guys catch that? I think he's bang on. I think he's bang on. We do find ourselves worshiping the mundial, and that just means the mundane, right? Things of no value, of no use. You will worship the profane, which is worse because you're worshiping things that are actually evil in a sense. You will worship your own identity, which we know about that too, and even in a certain sense, there is this idea that you are trying to, everybody says, I just want to be a better me, or I just want to be the best version of me, right? Worshipping your own identity, and then also your belongings. And we know this as well from history. And then also there is this template that's laid out before us by a culture that wants us distracted and lost. Every third vertical video you have, and I think they're increasing it, will be an advertisement. The advertisement will be on your algorithm that will tell you you're not enough without. I always get the snoring thing. Do you guys ever get the snoring thing? It's like, here's the little magnetic thing that goes over the bridge of your nose. Get that, and then you'll have a peaceful sleep, and yada, yada, yada. I don't even snore, so I don't even know what they're talking about. However, it's kind of like you're not complete without this item. Without this dress, or without this car, or without this product, or whatever it is. And so I think he's on point here. Let's go to the next part. He also says, We don't decide whether or not we worship. So it goes even deeper. We decide who we worship, and I would say what we worship. So it's our decision. It's our decision. Ladies, how you doing? Not great? Do you need a hand? Can I have, oh, Lily, okay. Are you guys okay with Lily coming and helping? Okay. Lily's going to be helpful. All right. Okay, and Pastor Kim, you're helping already? That's okay, that's great.
And I feel like you took some pieces.
Do you remember I said you were going to be at a slight disadvantage?
Yes, and everybody said that that's our disadvantage.
Just telling you. Okay. So, everybody back eyes on me. What is it that you worship? What is it that you worship? And if you kind of dial into that, could that be the problem of your life? So, I'm going to go back to Exodus 20, and we're going to read our scripture for today. And the beauty of our scripture is that it's so very short because it's basically one line. Madeline can put it up for us. So this is Exodus 20, and this is the back half of verse 1, and then verse 2 and 3. It says, "And God spoke these words," all these words. That's important. Okay, so I put this idea of spoke in italics. The reason I put it in italics is because God also spoke. Do you remember when he created the world? Right? So that is a connection. Do you remember what they said in John 1 when Jesus came? It says, "And the Word became flesh." The Logos, the Word became flesh. So this idea of speaking, the idea of power of words is crazy. And it's right here as well. And here's the descriptor we talked about last week. And there's 3 thoughts to it here. I am the Lord your God. I'm the Lord your God, singular. Remember, Egypt would have had multiple gods. I am the Lord your God who brought you out of Egypt. You couldn't do this on your own. And if you understand Egypt at the time, it was the power of the day. So God is saying, I brought you up out of Egypt. I defeated Egypt. I'm stronger than Egypt. I have all the authority. And out of the land of slavery, it's not just that I brought you out of this place, but I brought you out of slavery, which connects us to salvation and the salvation message of Jesus. Because when Jesus came, he brought us out of the land of sin. We talked about this at the end. He brought us out of darkness and into his marvelous or wonderful light. Okay? So God is God. He has authority, and he's given us freedom. He's given us freedom, redemption. And then the third one, and this is number one commandment, you shall have no other gods before me. Let's say that together. You shall have no other gods before me. And the inference is, Tammy, did you mention beside me? Is it in your version, beside me? Okay, before, because I thought you said beside me originally. In the Hebrew, the word before means it shouldn't be first and then something else is also first, like 1 and 1a. It should be first and then second. So you guys are not actually helping because you guys are supposed to be rocking this. And then these guys are already a drill. No, you should have all the tools you need there.
We have some of your pieces, you have some of ours.
No, incorrect. Can I just tell you, this illustration might not go well. And I'm learning this right now. So if you want to see me get creative, just keep watching. Okay, it's going good now. Did you hear the crack? Okay, here we go. So I put it in a couple of other, back with me. Let's read the Amplified version together so that you're with me. You shall have no other gods before me. Let's do it together. 1, 2, 3. You shall have no other gods before me. Now, anybody have an Amplified version of the Bible? And the Amplified version of the Bible can sometimes make double the length of a verse. Here, it really actually doesn't amplify anything. That line is all that you need. King version, which some people would need to dial into, is thou shalt have no other gods before me. Now, I find that, you guys good? Can you concentrate on what I'm saying? I'm trying just to steamroll and just do it. Sarah's over here just banging on things. Oh, the laughing is going to start. I just want to. My illustrations. Okay. My illustration's working. And you guys got to hang around for the end because it's gonna be great. Okay. The King James Version is this "thou shalt." It's one of the reasons people push back against the Ten Commandments. I'm going to actually ask you to not push back against the Ten Commandments. And one of the reasons is because it affects our pride. Right? As people, we don't like to be told what to do.
These girls are doing it.
They're doing it? That's great. Could you guys do it a little quieter?
No.
So, we don't like to be told what to do. So this whole "you shall" and "thou shalt have no other gods than me," it's like when the father says at home, "do X, Y, and Z." And you go, "Well, why do I have to do that?" And it's because I'm the man of the house. There's no sort of logic in it. It's just like it's a power play. And this is kind of a power play. And we're being told what to do. And because we're being told what to do, the first thing we do is resist. You with me? So I love the contemporary English version. It says, "do not worship any god except me," which I think is probably a better way to say it because it takes out that kind of in-your-face-ness of the command. However, God is God. And if you go back to the first one, "I am the Lord your God who brought you out of Egypt, out of the land of slavery," God's like, I have earned the right to give you these rules and to tell you what you should do. I have the authority for this. So don't miss that. So, as it pertains to the gods of our world, I don't think it's very hard to explain or express what the gods are that take the place of God. Amen? I would say, and correct me if I'm wrong here, but money is a huge god. Amen? You with me on that? I think money is the number one god in our culture. I think status is another one, right? We appreciate people who have success and status. I think sex is another one. And if you don't believe me on this one, just look at every ad ever. Is sex sells? I think about stuff like careers. I think about convenience. Convenience is a huge god. Comfort is a huge god. And all of those gods come together. I think as well, our devices, our screens. If we want to go granular, we can say we have the gods of gaming, video games. We have the gods of social media. We have the gods of gambling. We have the gods of pornography. We have the gods of movies and TV and all of those things that we consume at an alarming rate. Food can be a god for us, consumption without restraint. Drugs and alcohol are both gods in our culture. I think they've always been, but we see the grip that drugs and alcohol have on our culture. Hobbies can be a god. Relationships can be a god. You with me? And in our culture, if I look at our culture, And I know, because my wife works in the field of mental health, I think there is so much problems with mental health because nobody has this commanded down. And we're chasing every other god. We want those other gods to fill a hole that only God can fill. And so when God says, don't worship any other gods except me, when you worship money, sex, status, comfort, convenience, and on and on and on, those things will never fill you, and those things will never actually bring you to a good place in your life. Are you with me on that? I think that's so important. So, I was hoping these guys would be done by now because I'm going to bring it home. You guys almost close? Do we need more people to come and help?
No, these girls are doing great.
You're doing great?
Yeah.
First time here.
Yeah.
Good job. Actually, it does look good. Over here, there are angles happening that I don't think are meant to happen. Pastor Kim, you abandoned it?
That's all we can do. We did the best we could do what we were given. I think it's perfect.
Do you guys not have Allen wrenches?
There's only one.
Oh, there's only one. Okay. All right. It's working. Okay. Okay, so you guys are just gonna leave. Do you guys use all the pieces? What's going on?
So basically, one of our wooden pieces snapped in one of the holes, and now we can't get it, like in both of them. And we can't get it out. So
You don't need them, just put it on top.
that's our plan.
Because you'll
Lily,
secure
Lily,
the
Lily.
sides.
Lily.
That one's been the bottom.
Okay, that's great. No, you guys are doing great. What? No, you guys are doing awesome. I love it. If you're finished, then just go take your seat and
Awesome.
we're good. Okay, they're gonna finish. Look at this, guys. Kim, Pastor Kim, do you see this?
I love it.
Yeah, it's great. Okay, so for those of you who are still with me, which might not be everybody, and that's okay, I have a 3-point stress test for your heart. Here they are. No, well, I'll give you all 3, and then we'll go through them one at a time. To check and see whether God is your God, and whether your God is in first place in your life, I have 3 A words. Everybody say attention. Everybody say affection. Everybody say action. Attention, affection, action. Okay, this is how you know that God's in first place in your life. If you combine any of these 3 elements and they're high scores, that will equal that you are loving God and living for God. Okay, attention. Let me talk about attention first. Attention is the thing that has our eyes and ears. So these are the podcasts, these are the videos that we're watching, these are the things that we're involved in consuming. And there's a lot of things that call for our attention. In fact, YouTube and all of those algorithms, they want your attention and they want to keep your attention for an extended period of time. Okay? So, you are worshiping whatever has your attention, your full-blown attention. Are you guys all finished? Okay. Guys, round of applause. Ava and Jada, first time here, crushed it. Beautiful. Welcome. And you guys are still working away. Okay. You guys actually can be finished. You guys can be finished. Yeah. You did a good job too. You guys will know in a minute that you did a better job than you think. However, here we go. So back to attention. So here's the way that you know what your God is. Number 1 is do an audit of your watch history. If you want to be terrified, do an audit of your watch history. See what you've consumed on Netflix, see what you've consumed on YouTube, all of those things. And then also check the time you've spent on your phone. Right? I've really started stepping on toes here. Eyes and ears. What has your eyes and ears? It's hard to follow God when you're constantly consuming toxic content. In fact, it's kind of impossible because you got to keep running back. Lord, forgive me. Back to my phone. Lord, forgive me. Back to my phone. Whatever that is. And there could be multiple things. But whatever has your attention, check your phone, check your watch history, all of those things. Number 2, for attention, check your calendar. Check your calendar. Is there anything in your calendar at all that's reflective of you serving the Lord? Anything at all? Outside of this time that we've demarcated here. Number 3 is check your bank account. Check your bank account. Whatever gets your attention, whatever has your attention, that's your God. And when God says, no other gods before me, he doesn't want to compete with your TikTok. And he doesn't want to compete with your Siri. Oh, I gotta finish this series. Whatever it is. He doesn't want to compete with that. Hobbies, all the things that we mentioned. Number 2 is affection. We'll see it in 40 years. Moses dials back on this and he doubles down and he says, love the Lord your God with all your heart, soul, mind, and strength. And in doing it, it goes from thou shalt to love. And it turns from this top-down, you must do this or else, to this affectionate, you can go to affection, Madeline, to this affectionate, you know what, this is a love relationship. And so the first thing to do is audit your attention. Where are you spending your time and attention? What has your attention? Eyes and ears. 2, what has your heart? What feelings do you have? What makes you happy? Are the things that make you happy the things that make God happy? What makes you sad? Are the things that make you sad the thing that makes God sad and angry and excited and all of those things? Our affection. What do we love? What do we love? Because we use that all the time. Oh, I love, insert the blank. I love this. I love that. And so there's this affection. There's this feeling attached to it. And we don't base our faith on feeling alone, but in our relationship with God, especially when we become new believers, there is this love that we have for God and the rules of God and the laws of God. And as we're discovering them, our lives just unfold, right? Because we have a love relationship with God. Our relationship with God should not be dutiful. There should be some affection to it. However, a lot of our affections go out the door. Short illustration for this is when I was a kid, I used to cheer for the Toronto Maple Leafs. Thank you for that, all those sneakers. Right? You know, God says, they honor me with their lips, but their hearts are far from me. And I remember the story when I was a kid and I was doodling in church and I doodled this picture. God saves, but Sittler scores on the rebound. And my mom was like, what are you doing? You can't do that in church. And it was me sitting in church and having my heart and my mind and my affections on the Toronto Maple Leafs. And I don't know if you've noticed, but they haven't won anything since '67. So me giving them my affection is really dumb. It's just really dumb. And everything that we give our affection to in the temporal here and now is really dumb. The status you have at your job is going to be taken from you. The house that you are pouring all your effort in is going to be taken from you. Right? The vehicle, all of the stuff that we climb so ridiculously hard to get to, it's all going to perish. And so we love these things that can't love us back, and we love these things that in the end become meaningless. And God is saying, I want you to love me with all your heart, all your soul, all your mind, all your soul. So attention. Where's our attention? Our affection. Where's our affection? Is it given to God? And then action is the third one and the last one. When I was dating Carolyn, I would basically do anything to spend time with her. This is back in the day before cell phones, and we had 15 minutes because her dad only gave her 15 minutes on the phone per week. Per week! Per week! Oh my gosh. So when I got my car, I was driving to Carolyn all the time because that, like, she got my attention, she got my affection, and now she has my action. I'm in my car, I'm spending gas, I'm going to work to get gas so I can go back to get, because she's got my action. Would you do? Yes, I will. That was it. With God, it's the same way. There needs to be this passion that's attached to who we are as believers. He needs our attention, which is great. He needs our affection, which is great. But when he has our actions, when we're serving other people, when we're loving other people, when we're using our energy for him, that will show that he is first place. And it's incredible to me how people will spend 5 hours on a golf course, but then when it's time to do anything at church or I'm not sure. You know, and people will give their energy to anything and everything else except for God. The key, the key to worship, especially in the Old Testament, always involved animal sacrifice. So if you think about the action of that was to literally bring a sacrificial animal and then actually kill the animal on the spot. We don't do it anymore. Jesus took that all away. But that was the action. They had idols, and we'll get to it next week, where they would bow down. They would use their actions to say, I'm giving my allegiance to this hunk of wood or this piece of metal or whatever it is. And it's the same when we come to church. When we come to church, there's this idea that if we're worshiping, that we should raise our hands. You know, there's postures in worship, that we should close our eyes, that we should fold our hands, that we should have these body postures which are actionable, where our body is actually in tune with our mind and our spirit, and it's inviting a greater sense of the presence of God. You with me? Attention, affection, action. Here's the thing, and this is the whole point, and I'm basically done. Here's the illustration. If we don't get this right, if you don't get number one in the number one slot, there's going to be chaos and confusion and brokenness. Even your best effort. It's like, God, why is it not working for me? Because I'm not in first place. You don't have your priorities straight. I don't have your attention, your affection, and your actions. What you have with me is some kind of like cognitive agreement or some kind of thing, but if I don't have your full attention, your affections, and your actions, it's not going to work. And so with these ladies over here, and thank you again, that was awesome. You guys just stepped up. They had this thing. So I don't know if you remember, but Moses came down from the Mount Sinai with the IKEA manual in his hand. And he said, you know what should happen first? First, it's all this garbly goop, which Moses thankfully didn't put in. But once we get past more garbly goop, it's like, okay, well, here's the instructions for life. Do these sequentially, and you're going to win. So, number one, baby. Right? You with me? Have you ever tried to put one of these together? If you don't start at number one, I mean, it is a train wreck. So, God bless you, Georgia, Sarah, even with Pastor Kim. Now, Pastor Kim, she knows what she's doing. I thought she had put one of these together before, and I thought, oh, she's going to know what's what. But I actually removed number one piece. And I removed the 10 Commandments. So these ladies, I said, you're at a disadvantage. Well, you're at a disadvantage. You don't have the instructions. And also, you don't have number one piece. If you don't put number one piece in number one, you don't get that right, well, yeah, we have to replace this again because we have a whole bunch of broken things. That's on me. That's on me, guys. It's okay. It is salvageable. But you get the illustration. And now hopefully you get it even stronger. That if you don't get the number one thing in the number one place, it doesn't matter what happens. And it doesn't matter how smart you are and how able you are. And if you have all the rest of all the stuff, number one has to be number one. And that's what God is saying. I have to be first. And it can't be that, that I'm second. And it also can't be that something else is kind of second. Because you know what? If your career is the same on par with God, well, you're going to run your career how you want to run your career. But if your career is subordinate to God, then you're going to say, oh God, what's the move I'm supposed to make here in my career? Right? If your finances are subordinate to God, then you're going to say, God, how am I supposed to do this? You with me? And so when it comes to Moses going, and God saying, I spoke these words, Moses is like, wow, this is so important. Have no other gods before me. It's as simple as that. And we see these as these dusty old rules. Guys, these rules will set us free. These rules will set us free. And if you put God first in everything, it's going to go well with you. We learned that 40 years later, and that's what Moses says. He's like, love the Lord your God with all your heart, soul, mind, and strength. We talked about it last week. These rules are not for God. They're not to please God. He's fine. These are for you. In Deuteronomy 6, it says, do all of this so that it might go well with you. Because when you start serving career first, or serving relationship first, or family first, anything else first, it'll be a disaster. But when you get the first piece in, and you follow the instructions, it's going to go well. Last thing I got to say is just this. We're seeing all of these things happen in our culture. And it's amazing because these things do happen frequently, and they've happened throughout history. And there's a man named Alexander Solzhenitsyn. Many of you won't remember him, but he was a man, and he lived in, he was born in 1918. He died in 2008. He won the Nobel Prize for Literature in 1970, based on a number of writings, because he was a social activist. And he was in Russia at the time when Stalin took over. And when Stalin took over, he instituted something called communism. And in instituting communism, it was this kind of like, well, it's going to be this social republic and everybody's going to benefit. And it turned out to be probably the most horrific cautionary tale of all time. And Alexander Solzhenitsyn was part of that and watched it all unfold. And in his 1970 Nobel Peace Prize speech for literature, this is what he said. Check this out. Over a half century ago, while I was still a child, I recall hearing a number of old people offer the following explanation for the great disasters that had befallen Russia. Men have forgotten God. That's why all this has happened. Since then, I have spent well nigh 50 years working on the history of our revolution. In the process, I've read hundreds of books, I've collected hundreds of personal testimonies, and I've already contributed 8 volumes of my own toward the effort of clearing away the rubble left by the upheaval. Go to the next slide. What was it? The upheaval. Left by the rubble left by that upheaval. It should be a period, sorry. But if I were asked today to formulate as concisely as possible the main cause of the ruinous revelation that swallowed up 60 million. Pause there. Double Canada. That's what happened when the communism regime took over. I could not put it more accurately than to repeat. Men have forgotten God. That's why all this has happened. I can't stress more significantly than that. That as we go through the 10 Commandments, if we don't get the first one in place, you can do all you want, but it's going to end up like this. We can have no other gods but God. It is non-negotiable. It's not politically correct. It is non-negotiable. But it is the key that will unlock the future for us. To be prosperous, to be whole, to be healthy, to have life. All of those things. It's still not going to be easy, but that spot is alone for God. Let's pray.